Training camp is going strong, and that means we got a lot of news to catch up on and some little micro edges to try to exploit here on stream as we draft another Best Ball Mania team. Of course, Best Ball Mania 5, $1.5 million to first place. This one snap filled on me. I am already in a draft room here, picking in the 5 spot. Of course, playing on Underdog today, promo code SPLASH on there. Gets up to $250 in bonus cash. So check it out. Best bonus cash deal you're going to find in the best ball space right now. We got a lot of training camp news. I'm picking in the 5 hole, so I'm going to pay attention to both. But I do want to hit the news really big up top because I have a lot of items, the most items we've had so far in a video. So not a surprise as we get into July. Man, the thumbnail, Jameson Williams spent time working out with Jared Goff this summer. The improved chemistry is evident was an exact quote, an even more exact quote from The Athletic. It remains impossible to go to Lions practice right now and not see how much better Jameson Williams looks as opposed to this time a year ago. I think it is a big thing to note for Jameson Williams. I think this has been the signal we've been looking for, the thought we've had for him making the leap as a guy who missed some time year 1 with injury, missed some time year 2 with suspension. I think there's a lot of things with Jameson Williams that would lead you to believe that he's got a chance now to make the leap that you expect most guys to make year 1 to year 2. So he's on the thumbnail. He's been a guy I've been in the bag for. Had him priced in the mid-70s at one point in my ADPs and my ranks. So I would say for you guys out there, if you've been low on Jameson, I just think the signal is there to not be low anymore. Shout out to the chat as well. We got our guy Adam here starting the chat off. It's Brock Bowers season. I feel like he's been doing fine. He's been doing fine, but nothing. It wasn't too crazy about Brock Bowers out there. I feel like he's just playing a good camp so far. GMs abound. Our guy Chunk, appreciate you guys being here. And let's see what we're going to pick in the 5 hole coming up. Nothing too upsetting so far, exactly as the order should be. Would love it if this guy were to take Jamar Chase, but we'll see what Chicken Dinner does. He does, in fact, take Jamar Chase, so we will get a little bit more of our boy Justin Jefferson here. 12% Jefferson, 12% Amon-Ra. Could make the case to go Amon-Ra as well, but I would like to get more Jefferson. We're going to do that. So Justin Jefferson, come on down. Other news items here, and there's a lot, so bear with me. Stephen Jones, of course, the Cowboys Nepo baby, made it sound like Royce Freeman is RB2, while Rico Dowdle and Malik Davis are, exact quote, young guys battling it out. Stephen Jones goes against some of the stuff Mike McCarthy has said in the past here, where Mike McCarthy has said he expects Rico Dowdle to be one of the lead backs in the backfield. Is it a change because of how they've been performing so far? I don't know. I think it speaks more to Royce Freeman's reliability as a goal line threat, as a big body guy who can pass protect. He does a lot of things that teams like. So I certainly wouldn't say Rico Dowdle's dead. Probably wouldn't be shocked to see him pay a little bit of an ADP discount price for that quote. I'm okay scooping Rico Dowdle. If anything, though, I've said the bet is Zeke. I've long been taking Zeke on stream to the point of discomfort. I think this really solidifies Zeke is on a tier of his own in that backfield, and then it might be Royce Freeman and Rico Dowdle at the very least, kind of even beneath it. Would still take Dowdle over him, but if you wanted to take 18th round Royce Freeman, I wouldn't hate it. Jerry Jeudy still not practicing due to his leg injury. Just thought that was important to note because people have been steaming Jerry Jeudy up. Not a great sign when a guy is starting with leg injuries, with a history of leg injuries. I would point that out. Ricky Pearsall activated from the NFI list as expected. Should debut in team drills today on the 30th. So I'll see if that comes true, but it does seem like it's been the case. He's working on the sidelines and pretty much ready to go since yesterday. So I think he gets out there today. Ty Johnson got hurt. Unclear how bad. He hurt his leg. He's wearing a leg sleeve in practice today. Ray Davis, clearly the RB2 behind James Cook, as we've talked about. Should get power game work no matter what. But it does seem like we have the RB2 situation behind James Cook solidified, and then hopefully a little bit more work on top for old Ray Davis. Pour one out for Packering's Dowdle bags. I get the bet, taking the younger guy. It's just, to me, there was enough signal for Zeke this entire time. I have about 15% Zeke and I think 9% Dowdle, so I've been trying to make the bet on both guys, but I think that Zeke's the better play. I've been taking him more. His ADP coming up a little bit more would not be shocking. I would say don't be sticker priced out of it too much. If you see Zeke go top 100, 100 to 110, if I had to guess, is a possibility now. Chuba Hubbard, quote unquote, runs angry, according to Dave Canales, which is coincidentally the exact same thing Dave Canales said back in May. The Coach Speak Index had it on his Twitter. But basically, Chuba Hubbard doing exactly what he has to do right now doesn't mean he's going to be able to hold off Jonathan Brooks, who's a much more talented back. But it does mean there's a better shot that Chuba Hubbard holds on to a role. And this is actually, I do rank the news items relative to ADP and how important they are. While we're talking about the Carolina backfield, Rashad Penny is on the reserve/retired list, officially retired. So personally, wish he would have done it last year. It's going to save me from that Eagles bullshit. But he is retired now. So if you were drafting him for whatever reason, I hope you weren't. But he is officially done. So it looks like. All right, pick coming up here. Basically everything right at ADP. It looks like Saquon Barkley rising a little bit. Don't think that's the move for me, though. I'm okay with Devontae. I'm okay with Ayuk. I'll get Devontae. Still think there could be a little bit more of an Ayuk price drop coming. People of the uncertainty. People in markets in general in the summer, especially the casual drafters, do not enjoy uncertainty. So I think there's a shot that Ayuk could end up going a little bit more reliably in the start of the third round at some point. If this holdout continues or hold in for him continues, we'll go Devontae Adams here. All right, other news while we're going around the turn. Bo Nix struggled in his first pads practice for the Broncos D. Apparently, Jarrett Stidham has looked like the best one so far overall. Don't think it matters yet, but Bo Nix still, I think, minus 375 to start. So expectation to start for week 1. So I think for Bo Nix, not a great start. You obviously want to hear some good signal. Didn't handle the first practice of pads well. Did look great on one run, though. Ben Albright, this is going to be a tough one for me. Ben Albright says the Broncos starters he expects should be Sutton, Marvin Mims, and Josh Reynolds. He also said that Troy Franklin is being, quote, vocally coached up, but also people have said he's had the best plays of the day twice in the last 3 days. So I have to point out a little bit of confusion there. It seems like Troy Franklin having an up and down camp, and at the very least not going to be starting early, which I don't think was the expectation anyway. Tim Patrick, another guy, is potentially a threat for routes and I guess a roster spot for Troy Franklin, though he should make the team safely. Tim Patrick still working out on a bike on the sideline still. So seems like he's a little bit further away than you would like to see from being available. Though if you are a Troy Franklin fan, I think Tim Patrick not being available at this point, honestly, a good sign. He's an older guy. It's now basically, I think, 11 months from when he tore his ACL. So he should be ready to go, and he's not ready to go. So Tim Patrick, I would be really weary of right now. Bucky Irving potentially returning kicks. He also is preparing to improve at pass protection. Actually, as I talked about the Pewter Report, which is a Bucks blog, they've had Bucky Irving camp diaries. He talks in that camp diary about how he has to improve at pass protection, is planning to watch some Warwick Dunn film, a vintage Bucks name throwback for all of you older fantasy football players who I'm sure watch the stream. I think it's what you want to hear. He talked about how pass protection is a will game. Bucky in the mix with the first team, getting kick returns would be great for him as well with his shiftiness. Kick returns overall is something I've talked about here. Can't project anything on it. But if you have guys who have kick return roles, number one, if they're a rookie, that means they're probably going to be active on game days. Number two is like kick returns for touchdowns are live now more than they've been at any point in the last decade. So I think it is something to matter a little bit more when you are weighting these guys and you're trying to decide if they're a worthwhile pick or not. Speaking of a worthwhile pick or not, we got another one coming up to add to our Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams build. Malik Neighbors goes. Would have been fun to pair him with that group. I'm low on Cooper Kupp, and I guess we could just do an old guy's situation here. I mean, Jefferson obviously not old, but Adams and Kupp certainly old. I think we can all agree with that. Go Cooper Kupp here. Get above my 4% on him. I'm not chasing Cooper Kupp into the mid-20s, so getting him when he's falling to late 20s, early 30s is probably going to do the move for me. So a Jefferson Adams Kupp start feels pretty cozy. A bunch of guys have historically had first-round upside, if not, or worth that first-round capital now. So I think this is a fun 0 RB start here, and we'll see if we get the rest of the way. Again, a lot more fucking news, so bear with me. Josh Allen at 31. A little bit tough to take Josh Allen at 31 these days. But I guess this guy wanted it with Breece Hall. Not a unique combo, but I guess I get the logic. All right, what else do we got here? Another tough one for me, Ben Sinnott dropping passes in camp. The upside, Ben Sinnott dropping passes in camp, much like Jamar Chase did in his rookie year. So I think you pair those two things together, it makes a lot more sense. No, Ben Sinnott, tough start to camp. Obviously, it can be hard for him to dig out. He's still out there. He's still getting the mix with the first team enough. I'm not worried about him yet, though I do think, again, pricing him down a little bit, he's going to offer a different dynamic than Zach Ertz does no matter what. So I'm not worried about Sinnott, but he's not a blocker. If anything, he's proving that he's not a blocker because he's getting targets and dropping them. So tough week for Ben Sinnott, but he's fine. He's fine. Bye week danger already. We got no bye week danger. We're fine. Keep fucking this has to be a joke from Benny, of course, one of our regulars, but we don't sweat bye weeks here, especially this early. 2 poor practices in a row is the exact quote for Drake May. Well, Jacoby Brissett excelled downfield yesterday. Drake May, look, as I mentioned, he's got accuracy issues. It really rang true in his numbers from last year at UNC. I think that's going to be a tough thing in practice. He's still going to start at some point this year, but if I had to guess, I think we're looking more towards the week 14 bye than we are week 1. So Drake May not looking great. Jacoby Brissett looking better, and a New England offense has had very little upside besides yesterday. I think that's something to note here for Brissett. Doesn't mean he holds on to the job all year, but it does mean he probably starts it. Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason is quote-unquote blurred as who's the clear backup behind CMC, which is a change from where we were in minicamp. Jordan Mason's looked good. They feel like he's earned the opportunity to be in the mix more. So Mitchell and Mason, I would drop Mitchell down. I would, I guess, bump Mason up, but they're both really just handcuff plays. So keep that in mind. Shout out all you guys coming into. Again, we usually start at 11-ish, but, you know, the draft's going on at 11. I'm starting whenever the room fills, and I'm starting with weirdos here, with not weirdos, but, you know, different people in the room. It's always the goal here to help me and help my advance rate. We're not drafting against you brilliant minds out there. Javon Baker had a play of the day from Brissett. The exact quote from Gerard Mayo about it, though, is he still has a lot to learn. So for Javon Baker, look, he's getting the mix of the first team. He's moving up the depth chart a little bit. People like him a lot. I think that he's got upside there. The issue, he's probably going to get his most routes coming out of the slot. It's a really crowded slot unless they cut Juju. I don't think they're going to cut KJ Osborne after just signing him, but Osborne's working out of there. Pop Douglas is going to be working out of there. Juju is working out of there, and I would say Juju being a cut wouldn't be a shocker. All right, back on the clock here. We'll finish out the news after we make a pick. My first share of Travis Kelce here. What do we think, guys? Does that sound fun? No, it does not. Christian Kirk, who's very cozy to me, and we do have a week 16 with Las Vegas. Yeah, Christian, boy, I got to flatten this out and take Pickens, right? I like Kirk more, but Pickens at 44 feels a little bit better than Pickens at 39. We'll do it here. Pickens, wide receiver 4. In this kind of build as well, we have a bunch of old guys. We'll take the shot on Pickens here, being some youth that maybe can rise up. Of course, my bet on Pickens is not that high this year, which is why my exposure is so low. I have concerns about the wide receiver 1 in an Arthur Smith offense. We saw them last year. Believe in Drake May's talent a lot. He couldn't get there. We said we'll go Pickens here. And Kelce would have been a fine pick as well, but just didn't do it. Do you dabble in the NFL season over-under streets? So I don't really do much early season futures prop betting now. I'm probably going to research it a little bit because I think I'm doing a paid video for some company that I don't know, but they have like a decent TikTok following. I'll spare you guys the details now, but because I haven't signed it yet. But I think I'm going to do something for it, so I'll probably prep it closer to the year. But I try to not get caught up in too much of the betting market stuff because so much of my focus is on the things that I can control, the things that I can research for best ball in particular, and anything else kind of ends up as a diversion for me doing what I do well, hopefully. All right, so we've got some picks coming up here. We'll talk about a few more news items. Might be able to finish this. Xavier Gibson's out, which means more routes for Malachi Corley, including some of his first time with Aaron Rodgers. So helpful for all you guys who've packed Malachi Corley bags. I'd be worried about it a little bit, though. Overall, just think that he's kind of buried on the depth chart. Alan Lazard still getting slot routes. Gibson, they've liked a lot, even though he's out currently. So something to watch out for, really. But maybe he wins him over. Maybe he earns himself more time. This is what you're hoping for if you are betting on Malachi Corley. All right, Andrews and McBride go at the turn. Big elite QB turn. Dalton Kincaid. Wait. Okay, Dalton Kincaid didn't go first in the room, but second tight end off the board, Dalton Kincaid. Like, this guy's just really hard up for the Jets Buffalo stack, which I hope he's like close to maxing out because a lot of reaching for this time and the draft period. You want to make up your exposures. You want to get your unique stacks. Do it in August. Do it in late August. Don't do it in July. All right. So we got this next one coming up here. Keenan Allen on the board. Fine enough pick for sure. We do have the bet on Minnesota Green Bay. So Jacobs, Jayden Reed. I would like to get more Jacobs, but it felt like he was coming down for a while, and now he's not. I don't know. I think this feels like a 0 RB day in my soul. We got more than enough Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, I think, looking good enough in camp. Though Romo Dunze seemingly getting a lot of positive talk about him potentially being the wide receiver 1 for that team, which would be crazy if he can unseat both Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. But we have a 5 receiver start here. We have Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, George Pickens, Jayden Reed. We're probably going to take an RB soon. So according to the Best Ball Overlay tool, it technically will be a modified Hero RB tool. But I feel like ultimately you get this many receivers in, it feels like a 0 RB team. We're going to do that. Spags, have you bathed in the broth of Solana's smoking chicken fish? Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck kind of gibberish is this? Trying to fill a weekly winner, says Bobby here. Make sure you watch Pete's Best Ball After Dark with that guy, Michael Chiang. If you don't want to pay for Pete's YouTube channel, which you should, go support the guy. He's doing premium content, premium streams every week. You can also find Michael Chiang's Twitter on there, and he has threads about it as well. But a lot of interesting stuff about weekly winners, which is not one of my focuses, but I do think it might help some of you guys out there. Another thing that might help you guys as well that Best Ball Overlay has. If you're an eliminator fan, they now have a tool for eliminators that shows you an eliminator chart while you're drafting as well. So I'm not a big eliminator guy, so I can't, give it my personal, hey, this looks great, but I know these guys played a lot. The Pound guy and his co-creator over there. So check it out, bestballoverlay.com, promo code SPLASH gets you $10 off at bestballoverlay.com, and of course supports the show, which is always appreciated here. Lots of great ways to support the show. And we're going to get back to news in a minute, but one more plug. More drafts coming from drafters, by the way. Just agreed to a little more increased inventory with drafts with drafters. So Saturdays, you're not going to get a double header from me. And then once a week, you're also going to get a second drafters double header. So go show some love for drafters, really. They've been kind to me. Of course, they got to fill their tournament as well. There's going to be a lot of cool promos, I think, coming out for drafters in the next few weeks as well, because they have about 2/3 of their tournament left to fill, and I think they're aware of that from what I was talking with them yesterday. So check it out, drafters.com, promo code SPLASH on there. Can force a change of pace from Underdog because it's full point PPR, no pods, no playoff pods, just total points over the course of 17 weeks. And a lot of fun. Last year I put in 9 teams. One of them finished top 110. A lot of people in the community finished top 100. So like legit for you guys, for your EV, I would say obviously it helps out the show as well. But for you, like play on a site that's a little bit softer, a little bit easier, and honestly might have overlay this year at drafters.com with the promo code SPLASH. All right, we'll get one more news item in here for our next pick. Rondale Moore. Yeah, thank God. My priors are always going to be part of the news item. So you got to, I'll have a lot of important stuff, but also have things that probably matter to me and like Robert Griffin III. Rondale Moore starting to heat up in camp. According to Raheem Morris, was a quote from this morning. So the slot competition's not dead. Obviously not great for Rondale to be starting behind Ray McLeod, but it could just be a familiarity thing. I think that's really where with Rondale. Still believe in enough in the talent. Joe Mixon falling in this room, even though he is in camp finally, working on the sidelines. We can also go extreme 0 RB here and feel pretty good about that with Christian Watson. Oh, man. Oh, and it's an extreme 0 RB team here. I got enough Joe Mixon. I could take Joe Mixon all day long. Christian Watson, though, got to get you to 16%, buddy. Jayden Reed and Christian Watson with the Justin Jefferson bring back. We are Minnesota Green Bay stacking, and I'm delighted to do it. Dylan Labe, more passing down work with the first team. Special teams return work as well. Again, add value. Bump your guys up a little bit. They're going to get kick returns. Going to be some touchdowns coming at kick returns. Absolutely going to happen this year. But Dylan Labe, bump him up. Alexander Madison, I think, is just handcuff value for Zamir White. Zamir White might come down in ADP. Maybe buy that dip a little bit. Still think he's fine. Going to get the goal line work. Labe's got juice, though, especially in the pass game. So him getting that work early on. He's getting in minicamp. I was carrying it over. You want to see that steady workload for guys, especially the rookies. Theo Johnson. This is one I'll take a mea culpa on. I thought Daniel Bellinger was going to get more of a shot to at least hold down the role as a guy with experience in this Giants offense. Theo Johnson getting in the first day in pads, playing more snaps than Daniel Bellinger. So Theo Johnson should be your Giants bailout. I saw a guy, Artillery Frost, sent me a team review today that had Daniel Jones stacked up with Jalen Hyatt and Theo Johnson. Really fun backdoor stack. I think Giants backdoor stacking with Theo Johnson in a 3 tight end build. I'd take that shot. Elite athlete, getting some work here. Good enough EPA guy. I like some other guys more in that class, but I think Theo Johnson, the role, the opportunities there. Kyler goes to 73 here to the guy with Trey McBride. Early Kyler. Deontay at his normal price of 74. Let's see what we get back. Isaac Guerrero expected to miss multiple weeks with a hamstring injury. Jacob Cowing, a lot of you guys out there like him. Jacob Cowing also out a week or so with the hamstring injury, so not great for him. Getting opportunity with Ayuk and Pearsall out. Now Pearsall's coming in. We'll see what happens there. We're on the clock here. We've done our extreme 0 RB start, so we have to hit RB, and we get one of our old favorites here with David Montgomery. Could also go Aaron Jones for the correlation there. I can really build out Minnesota Green Bay. But that is a pretty big ADP flip. So, man, I love Montgomery so much. This team is getting a little bit like whatever the reverse of a death by 1,000 cuts would be. We're getting a little bit incremental value here that makes the team more unique. It's not enough to make it feel like there's a 1-and-1 or anything. But David Montgomery, I can't resist him at pick 77. So we'll go him over the Aaron Jones correlation. Maybe Ty Chandler late because we are betting against Aaron Jones on the team, it seems. We have a 0-1-6-0 build. David Montgomery, first RB off the board. Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, George Pickens, Jayden Reed, and Christian Watson are the picks. So an extreme 0 RB team here. And we're going to stay away from wide receiver for a while because of that. And we'll see what we can do with the rest of it. But happy with Montgomery as the first RB, or the first RB off the board for me at least. People underdog see overlay, they jump. Definitely do not play on drafters. Oh, Updog, you were a top 10 finisher, right? You were the one who was. So you don't want him to play on there. Yes, please do it. Do you think we better do the marathon? Maybe you won't fill. I would do drafters personally, but it's the same tournament. If you like the structure, it's fine. But full point PPR, and then again, the bonuses you get, you're going to get more bonuses on drafters. Like if you're just playing on there, you're going to get bonuses when you put in 10 entries, you get a free ticket. And again, they're going to be giving away a lot of like free tickets for, oh, you put in 5 entries, did 5 drafts over the weekend. Here's a free ticket. Like, so I know that from talking to them yesterday. So I would say your EV overall and getting free entries in is going to be a lot higher. And I do give drafters giveaway tickets here on stream as well. So I don't know. I would say you're going to get more doing drafters, but follow your heart. Last news items here. Finally, MVS, not even close to playing with the first team. Athletic says he may be a cut candidate. So MVS, probably take him out of the bailout, late stuff for Buffalo. If you ever were taking him, I took him like once, I think, on stream. That was enough MVS for me. Claypool, same thing, though I've never been team Claypool, but he hurt his leg. He's fine enough to practice, I think. But Claypool's not really going the right way. This is Keon Coleman's spot. Keon Coleman is winning the job right now as we speak, and yet Keon Coleman was getting steamed down for a while. Though here, I think he was back to his normal price tag, right? Keon back at 72 here, which feels good. I'd be comfortable putting Keon for what he represents touchdown-wise. I don't know. I think he should be ahead of Lad. Dead even with Lad at the very least. Lad McConkey. Anyway, there's your news and notes for the day. Every morning, guys, of course, I do drafts Monday to Saturday, 11 a.m. More to come with drafters. But also, I give the news items here. Try to make it a worthwhile time for you here every day. So please do subscribe down below. Hit the like button. Leave a comment if you're watching after the fact. All your engagements go a long way for me as a sole proprietor here, trying to make it work on YouTube. And look, I'm doing a niche, and I'm a niche person myself. So I'm a niche on a niche here. So your support goes a long way, especially if you enjoy the show. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. Jordan Addison down to 90. Jameson Williams up to 79, but this guy's been reaching for everything, so I don't know if that's necessarily a sign of the future. Jonathan Brooks probably coming down. We got the bet on Vegas. I don't necessarily want to make a Vegas stack, but I can add Brock Bowers on as a tight end. I think we'll still get one decent RB back if I had to guess. Could have maybe pushed Brock Bowers, but I feel like people are a little bit too cozy doing elite tight end with Brock Bowers, and I want to share. So we're going to take Brock Bowers here. And there's something I would like to do at 101 that's obvious, but I wasn't going to reach for it here. Does it blow me? Just max draft Tyler's, or just max drafters Tyler, you get a fancy t-shirt. Actually, if you max drafters, you get $100 back too. Got a promo grind on drafters and DK. When I finally max DK, it's going to be for 2,400 instead of 3,000. That's smart, man. Using all the promos on DK, if you've been able to do that. There's been enough out there. There's certainly going to be more because that tournament's going to have a hard time filling as well. Honestly, I think with Underdog's tournaments, Underdog's going to have a tough time filling some stuff. DraftKings is going to have a tough time filling some stuff. And Drafters is going to have a tough time filling some stuff. The trickle down of Underdog oversaturating tournament market a little bit, I think is going to be that there's a shot and more overlay in best ball than there's been in a while. We'll see, though. Like, August can heat things up for sure. Will heat things up to a certain extent. But I think Drafters is going to have a hard time, and I think DraftKings is going to have a hard time. But, hey, I'll do my best to help Drafters out. They've been kind to me. Dak goes here. To the CeeDee Lamb drafter. No surprises there. Jayden Daniels goes to the guy with Kyler Murray. Fun combo. Can't begrudge him that. Jayden-Kyler combo, probably one of my favorite ones overall. Do they give you a t-shirt if you max? I didn't know that. I just knew they gave you the $100 back, which I'd rather have than a t-shirt personally. But I am wearing an Underdog t-shirt on stream right now, so I guess I'm not immune. I'm not immune to the lure of a free t-shirt. Free t-shirts that don't shrink, like aren't shitty quality, the best. Take them every time. No, yeah, it's no cactus. If only I ever got the fucking cactus. I maxed out for 2 years in a row. No cactus. Nary a cacti. I don't know why. I don't know, like, and they have my right address, I think. So I just don't get it. I don't know, disrespect me with a cacti. I need to negotiate it into my partnership contract when it comes up after the Super Bowl. Spags owed 3 cacti. You're saying cactus is here, up dog. I believe we know it's cacti. Also, cacti do last for a while. But yes, obviously a t-shirt would theoretically lasting longer. All right, we got to do Jordan Love here. Big value on DeAndre Swift. But Jordan Love in this build where we have the Green Bay double stack, have the Minnesota bring back. It's too important here. So we are making it hard on myself at RB, but we are going to make it up at volume, I believe. We have a 1-1-6-1 build, a true extreme 0 RB build with 6 receivers in the first 6 rounds. Got Jordan Love, David Montgomery, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, George Pickens, Jayden Reed, and Christian Watson for that Green Bay double. We have Brock Bowers at tight end, so we have made some premium deviations from RB, and we need to make it up a little bit. But I'm happy with this build, like my Green Bay double. Reed and Watson, my 2 favorite Green Bay receivers. Dontavian Wicks, no thank you. Underdog shirts, Spags move. I wear undershirt. I have enough Underdog shirts. I think I've got like 3 of them now. Though it was annoying. Like I want the whole merch line. Like I want the Hawaiian shirt. I want whatever they got. I want all their merch. I feel like that was something I was like trying to get them to put in my deal. And they're like, yeah, we'll send you a merch re-up. And they just gave me like a couple shirts, a couple hats. You got to get it all in writing in your contracts. Lesson to all the folks out there, all the young guys. Been hitting up drafters lately with the bonus tickets and free money from signing up. Have 10 paid entries and 11 free entries. Wow, good deal. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. This is a time, like, it's not like a sexy convo to be like, grinding free entries, but like legit anything you can do. And really from doing probably my sports betting app every day, like I talk about it a lot, like the flip from, taking a -115 bet on DraftKings to +110 another book, sometimes +120. You're talking a 25% flip, sometimes a 35% flip in ROI. It's kind of the same thing for like just getting EV from promo codes and stuff where you're putting in 2,400 and you're getting, $3,000 worth of entries like Dylan is. It's just a smart thing to do because it makes it easier for you to actually finish in the black and to have a shot to cash and actually, to make that money last longer. And if you actually win big money, your mathematical EV is only higher because of the fact you paid 2,400 and you took back, 100K somehow. So, just a good thing overall to do for yourself, even though, you feel like a little bit of a nit, but with gambling sites, they give you so little, like you have to do it for yourself. And you have to take advantage of the stuff they do give you and tee up for you. How much overlay do we think is realistic for the sprint and the marathon? Sprint, I would say, is going to have a really fucking hard time. Marathon's got a shot. I honestly, I can't tell you. I'm not somebody that projects this stuff well. Mathematically, like I'm not tracking it. I think Tom Strachan used to do that. I don't know if he still does. There are people out there that could probably direct you more, really. I have to get an RB here, by the way. And Gus Edwards, big, slow plotting. Honestly, he and David Montgomery, very similar bets, I feel like. But Montgomery is not big, slow, and plotting. But they're just touchdown hounds for teams I expect to score a lot of touchdowns. Gus Edwards, another week 5 bye, getting me here. So I'm not, I'm not a professional mathematician trying to project the stuff. I would say, though, that the sprint, because of the price tag on it, going to have a really hard time filling. And I think, too, you'll have some overlay chasers for that one coming with, like, the regulars, like the Badge Bros, kind of regular guys who love playing everything on Underdog. I think those guys will gravitate towards the sprint a little bit more. But I think you're going to find the casuals are not going to do the sprint at all. Any rumors on when DK will ramp up the promos? Got to be happening in August. I don't know any rumors about it, but this even has to be. They're throwing a lot of shit against the wall. Like having the Barstool guys do best ball drafts. I'm sure it's part of the strategy, but I think kind of reeked of desperation a little bit. I think that tournament, they've priced themselves out. Like drafters, to their credit, $15 entry. And again, I know like I'm in bed for drafters, not for DraftKings, but like a $15 tournament, 500K to first, great. You're raising your tournament from $5 to $10 to $20. You're just squeezing the best ball people a little bit too hard, but that's what DraftKings does with everything. So we'll see. I would say the best shot at overlay is probably going to be, I don't know, because I think drafters can get there. I think DraftKings might be your best shot at one of the big tournaments having overlay. Honestly, even BBM's a little bit slow compared to what you would think it would be. BBM, obviously, no concerns about that filling. All right, we'll see what we got this next pick here. Chicken dinner on the clock. Thinking about it. All right, I wanted Blake Corum here. We're going to get Blake Corum. Perfect time to take Blake Corum. And we have a bet on the Rams here with Cooper Kupp. After ADP, I hate Blake Corum. Reaching for Blake Corum is not a thing I will ever do on stream. But Blake Corum, pick 125. We can live with that. So the team so far making it up at RB. We started with Jordan Love, though. A little bit of a discount for him. Dave Montgomery, a little discount for him. Had to reach a little bit for Gus, but slight value on Blake Corum here for our 3 RBs to start in our extreme 0 RB build. Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, George Pickens, Jayden Reed, and Christian Watson are the wide receivers. So Green Bay double, Minnesota bring back. That all feels great. Brock Bowers here, correlated with Las Vegas. I like what we're doing here. The game stacking part of it, not all the way there yet. We're going to try to do it, though. But getting good players at appropriate value is all we can ever ask. There we go. Nice squad. I'll take that from our guy, Mike. $100 off YouTube. Sunday ticket ends July 31st for those who partake. Oh, man. Tough scene. They really love to make you pay for that shit early, huh? Is that for just new customers, or does that apply? Because like I have YouTube TV. Don't want to sign up now, though. I don't want to spend $500 now. Ugh, the worst. Jerry Jeudy at 131. Gabe Davis quietly having a pretty good camp. Involved enough. Reporters have said he's safely ahead of Brian Thomas Jr. so far. He's still Gabe Davis, but, you know. Trevor Lawrence, by the way, also having his first good camp today, it looks like. Completed 16 straight passes. Every other day for him has been pretty dog shit, so good to see him finally checking in one good day. Is Jayden and B-Rob together a good bet? Interested by the one hole? I've made it a lot of times. I think it is. I mean, QB and RB bets are good. They shouldn't be your only stack, ideally. Like, you want to add Dotson onto that. You want to add Sinnott. You want to add Luke McCaffrey onto that. But you can do with it as part of it, yeah. Like, getting a team bet, you just want teams that are going to have outlier points production relative to their ADPs. The Commanders are one of the teams I believe more than most. They're going to have outlier production. Their camp has quietly been really fucking good, and Jayden Daniels is slinging a lot of bombs and touchdowns. Like, everything I've wanted to see from Washington, besides Ben Sinnott being tight end 1 and looking like Travis Kelce, everything I've wanted from Washington is coming so far. So, yeah, to me, Brian Robinson, great play. He's the bell cow back for that team. Eckler's going to get some work still. Eckler apparently looking good in camp too. But everybody's looking good in camp. Gabe Davis here himself say, don't get too excited. I hope you're enjoying Jacksonville, Gabe. Hope you can go spend some time going to Tampa and the strip clubs there. I know that Jacksonville itself is that nice, but I don't know much about Jacksonville. We're on the clock here. Oh, boy. Really double tempting me with a good time here. We got Marshawn Lloyd on one side, Ty Chandler on the other. Let's see what this rune does. I feel like Marshawn Lloyd may be coming down for some people because of the fact that he's not out on the field yet. Had some not great quotes from their offensive coordinator yesterday. Like, basically, Marshawn Lloyd's not playing right now, so people overreacted. And weirdly, one guy who I like enough, I'm not going to shout him out like that. Like, one guy on Twitter was like, oh, everybody thinks Marshawn Lloyd's going to be getting touches. And meanwhile, here's A.J. Dillon saying he's the 1-2 punch to Josh Jacobs. And it's like, A.J. Dillon is filling in right now because Marshawn Lloyd has a tweaked hip and hasn't played yet. So, like, Dillon doing whatever he's doing now just functionally doesn't matter. Maybe Dillon looks better and maybe he's in the mix, but like, he's still not going to do the same things as Marshawn Lloyd, who's a shifty pass catching back. So I'm not worried about Marshawn Lloyd stuff. I do think people might freak out about it. So we'll see if they do. Would love to get a discounted Marshawn Lloyd. Anthony here's in Jacksonville. I live in one of the nice parts, though. No ratchet activities over here. Yeah, you know, swampland. Swampland, I get it. But hey, glad to hear you're one of the nice parts. Got you 10 new subs. Sign up on all my grandkids' devices. Thanks, Michael. I can't wait for them to dislike every video because they're confused and scared about the older gentleman yelling at them about best ball takes. But I appreciate the sentiment, if nothing else. Verizon offered free Sunday ticket last year with phone and internet plan, but heard it was a shit show trying to get the discounted price. I feel like everything is. I mentioned my AT&T issues the other day, but AT&T double charging me and then fucking not giving me my money back. So I had to like do a reversal with Bank of America. And then AT&T gave me my money back. And then they were like, whoa, we gave you too much money now. And then they made me fucking pay them back, which was fine. But like, they did it so much faster than they actually like tried to process the refund. Fucking AT&T. Phone company is the worst. Customer service the worst. These are your boomer takes today on Spags' Boomer Corner. If I missed your Senate take yet, yes, he's dropping passes currently like Jamar Chase. Doesn't matter. He's getting targeted. Doesn't matter. I don't know why. I don't know. It's like a hard on for me being negative about Senate. I don't get why you're so negative on Senate. I've tolerated a lot of your mediocre Georgia takes. Where's the RB? Where's Kendall Mitten right now? Milton. Where's Kendall Mitten as well? We don't always have to be mean to people about their takes. But yeah, Ben said it'll be fine. Can't fucking worrying about camp drops right now. Come on. We got a 1-4-6-1 here. I think Musgrave is a viable pick. We do want to make it up at RB, though. And I do think this guy is a little bit undervalued still. Yeah, Musgrave, not a big enough value for me to go out of my way to do it. We got the elite tight end. We'll live without Luke Musgrave. We've got a Green Bay double already. Like, I can add the third player on the stack, but in this build, I don't know that I need Musgrave here as much as I need to dig out of my hole at RB. So it's an extreme zero RB build here so far. Have to get our second QB at some point. We have Jordan Love as our QB right now. A little bit of discount on him. Montgomery, Gus Edwards, Blake Corum, Ty Chandler, and Ray Davis are our RB room so far. Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, George Pickens, Jayden Reed, and Christian Watson are the extreme wide receiver start here. Again, 6 receivers in the first 6 rounds. That means you should basically cut it off. Probably not draft another one. If I do draft one more, it's going to be much later in the draft. And Brock Bowers, one premium deviation here for a guy who could be an elite tight end. I feel like overall that this team is looking okay. Taking Bowers, then taking Love made the RB room suffer just enough that I don't think this is your ideal way to do an extreme zero RB team. I think your way to do it would be to get the receivers early, make sure to have a double stack of some QB you could take late. Tennessee, I think, is a good one. Jacksonville works fine as well. But you do that, and you allow yourself to hit RB hard for like these 2 extra rounds. I think that would make this team look a lot better. I think we'll still salvage the RB room, but it's like a much shakier RB room, I believe, than it could have been if I had just not taken those 2 deviations. Negative on Sinnott, so I'd like to hear people who think are positive on him. My blind spot last without listening. All right, fair enough. It seems, I will say it's coming across, Adam, as very dunky, but I know you well enough. We're okay. But yeah, I think for Sinnott, the main thing is just like there's going to be ups and downs, but the target share was good. He didn't have a drop issue in college or anything. And what he can do with after, yards after the catch stuff, as well as being a willing and enthusiastic blocker. There's an interview with him with, was it JP Finley? It was one of the Washington Beat guys talking with him yesterday. And he's like, I'm just excited to be out in pads, being able to get hit and hit people and whatever. I like Sinnott, man. I'm not going to back down off of Sinnott. I do think it's more comfortable to take him in a third 3 tight end build right now, but he's talented and I think he'll get there. And he's a good red zone target as well. Like, he was really good in college in the red zone, which is what they're saying is good about Zach Ertz. Sinnott's going to learn that and get that, I believe. All right, 1561 here. Compelling RBs on the board. Compelling QBs perhaps as well. Okay, he takes Aaron Rodgers. I think we've now squeezed enough value out of Matthew Stafford here. Different bye week than Jordan Love. We can live with this. Matthew Stafford, of course, correlated with our Cooper Kupp bet, correlated with our Blake Corum bet. Matthew Stafford is my QB2. I will wait around the turn here for one more pick, but I'm feeling good about that. Didn't feel like I needed to get Stafford early. Wanted to make sure I got enough RBs in, and I think I did that comfortably for me. So Stafford here with Kupp feels good, and Corum. Which rookie do I think busts the worst relative to draft capital? That's a tough one. I think it's Ladd. I think it's I think Ladd McConkey in half-point PPR is just not the strongest play. So I would say for me, it'd probably be Ladd. No disrespect to Ladd. I know we have a lot of Ladd fans out there, but that's the first one that comes to mind. Maybe Worthy too. Worthy is interesting, but Worthy is competing with a lot of stuff there, and he wasn't fantastic at Texas. Like the way he's being used, but I would say for me, Worthy and Ladd would be the 2 that come to mind first. But that's also me kind of going top down from ADP. I don't think Harrison busts. I don't think Neighbors busts. Odunze could bust relative to expectations if you wanted to be good week 1. That's it. I swear I wasn't doing it to dig in on Adam. But, if I get both parts of that, I'm happy to do it. Quentin Johnston. By the way, so Quentin Johnston not having a bad camp. People are really down on him, but he's apparently doing well enough. Drops haven't been there quite as much. Not doing great on deep balls, which he was really bad at. Was a negative EPA receiver on deep balls last year, which isn't good when you're a boundary receiver. You need to be good getting that stuff, the get up and go up and get him kind of plays. That said, for Quentin Johnston, probably too cheap at 169, I think. More like a Worthy Ladd. That's true. That's true. My 2 least appreciated guys. Troy Franklin at 170. God, I want to just embrace Troy with all my heart again. But it's just like 2 up and down for him. I'm not panicking about the Ben Albright stuff on Troy Franklin. If you guys missed the intro, I'll talk about the news items up top. But for Troy, I just like, what is Josh Reynolds going to hold him back all year? Tim Patrick can't even run right now. We're okay with Troy. All right, 2561 here. People going for Jalen McMillan. I mean, fuck. I hate these kind of things because, like, I want Bucky Irving a lot more than Jaleel McLaughlin, but Jaleel McLaughlin, 23 picks after ADP is way too cheap. We have correlation with Gus for week 16. We can live with it. We're going to take Jaleel McLaughlin here. Again, have to keep making it up at RB for now. It's a 2-6-6-1 build currently. We have Jordan Love and Matthew Stafford as our QBs. RB, we have David Montgomery, Gus Edwards, Blake Corum, Ty Chandler, Ray Davis, Jaleel McLaughlin. I would say this is a true 0 RB build. I do think that the Best Ball Overlay tool will tell me it's a David Montgomery hero, and I don't agree with that. I think it's about as fucking 0 RB as you can get in 2024. Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, George Pickens, Jayden Reed, Christian Watson, tight end Brock Bowers. Got to make up a tight end. Third QB an option, but not a must-have. One more RB an option, but not a must-have. This is a good question by Garrett. Do you think Zamir White will be this year's Alexander Madison last year? I think he's more trusted and more talented at what they're going to ask him to do than Madison is and was. And I think, too, the team's a little more willful with running the ball as opposed to the Vikings, who are inherently kind of they want to pass to set up the run more so. So I could see where you're going with it. I don't agree necessarily, but there's some risk. Like Zamir White, again, didn't show a lot in the EPA metrics and stuff. Got there mostly through volume, isn't shifty, like doesn't avoid tackles left to right. He's big, like there's always room for big guys, but I think Dylan Labe is going to take enough work away. If you get Zamir White as a 15 touch back who doesn't get more than 2 red zone touches a game, that's where you're getting more into his performance looking Madison-like, even though I don't think he's Madison. So I don't think that's a bad analogy, but I think he's got a little more. He's got a little more opportunity. Madison had opportunity too. He just wasn't good. Bowers kills Zamir. I mean, I don't agree with that directly, but Bowers plus Devontae plus Jacoby Myers has become a viable red zone threat. And Labe too. Like Labe being a guy who's pretty good in the pass game. Maybe see him get some red zone targets in the red zone. Red zone targets in the red zone. But I think like those things combined are what make you worry a little about Zamir, because Zamir's got to have the touchdown run good for him to make it all pay off. QJ looks like a baby deer sliding around on ice. That's rude. That's rude. Again, people are saying to practice. The 4Verts guy, who's over at Yahoo now, I think, Charles Robinson, he was saying that he looks as good as he's ever looked and that he's making plays. And I don't know. I think there's enough people out there that are smart saying he looks okay. Does it matter in July compared to the season? Probably not. The team wants him to be good. All right, you have a 2-6-6-1 here. So a lot of QBs on the board. You know what? We have correlation both ways with this guy. I think he makes us feel more like a 2 tight end team. We'll go Juwan Johnson. So we need the tight end here more than we need any other position. That's my logic for that one. 2 rounds now where I think it's kind of pure luxury no matter what. 7th receiver would feel okay at this point. 7th RB would feel okay at this point. Maybe a 3rd QB option too. But let's sit on that. But Juwan Johnson already back working out, already with the team, looking ready to play almost. I don't think he's going to play anytime this week necessarily, but I would say probably next week we'll have a better shot. Juwan Johnson getting out there. He paid this big ADP discount, and he's been ready to go. Like the thing is, he'd be ready to go for week 1 the entire time. I've taken Juwan a lot on stream here, but here he correlates with both our Vegas mini bet and our Green Bay bet as well. Any concern with Lloyd with the A.J. Dillon hype? I talked about this a few minutes ago, but no. Dillon's playing okay out there because Lloyd's not out there. So that's going to happen when you miss time with a hip injury. He needs to get out there. Like, I don't want Lloyd to end up in a Kendre Miller kind of situation last year where Kendre started slow because he had recovery from his MCL injury. Like, Lloyd already showed them something in minicamp, so I think they're kind of keeping a light on for him to get out there. But you can't miss 3 weeks without there being a penalty to your playing time. So hopefully he'll get out there. Worst case, he becomes more of a late season bet. That is price tag. He's kind of priced like he's mostly a late season bet anyway. Hope you didn't invest in any Rainmakers. What are they getting rid of it? They fucking should. But no, I've never been a Rainmakers guy. I did not see the Bowers interview. Only saw him making a few plays. Lloyd's slight hip issue. It takes a week or two. Give it time. That was my expectation. I mean, LaFleur said it was very minor. I think we're okay on it. But yeah, don't want him to miss like the first month of camp. That's where we get in a little bit of trouble. All right, 2-6-6-2 here. We have an oft-taken Luke McCaffrey at a little bit of a discount. His ADP is coming down, and it really just shouldn't be. Okay, we have Green Bay, Rams, Arizona. Just nothing great from Arizona to take at this point. I'm going to go Zay Jones again. I don't want to be fucking taking Zay Jones with much frequency. But I think in this build, it makes sense to take Zay Jones for some kind of Arizona bring back. And Dortch already went, I think, as well. Yeah, Dortch went at 193. So Zay is the only pick left for opposite correlation for week 17 with the Rams. Don't really think we need him. Obviously, we have those 6 receivers in the first 6 rounds, so the bet's made there. But we'll have some sort of opposite correlation. Now we have game stacks for both sides of the equation. Always do want to do that if I can. Thankfully, the staff already likes and wants to use Lloyd, so early miss time not as bad as a guy needing to gain ground. It's a good point. It's a good point. And that's basically how I viewed it in my head as well. I don't think I articulated it well enough, but Tyler did a great job articulating that as well. Do we touch on Trey Benson? Is there a new news item about him? I know he's been working with the first team a little bit, but I haven't seen anything new. The only thing I've seen out of the Cardinals camp is that Harrison looks really good. Tyler's looking incredibly fast. It's been all the stuff I've seen for the most part. Oh, there we go. Lloyd returning today. All right. Let's see it. I'm excited. If Marshawn Lloyd can get it going, like the 2 guys now that everything's coming together, I guess the 3 guys I really need to get it going out of my early takes that have not gotten all the way there. Troy Franklin won, and I think there's still enough good stuff there that I can live with the bet on him and liking him. Ben Sinnott, who we talked about already, and Marshawn Lloyd. Marshawn Lloyd, I'm very much enjoying that one. Market moving behind Benson. What signal is there? There's a blurb today about DeMercado not giving up the number 2 job. Benson is just not, to me, Benson this entire time, I've said it on stream a few times, Benson should have been more in that Corum range, if not the Marshawn Lloyd range, because he's more of a contingent play that you're hoping is going to get more than that. I think he gets passed down work some amount, but it's like it's a Connor backfield. They've had as much signal as possible that it's going to be James Conner leading that backfield, dominating it. Warm take, Benson will be a 0. I don't think he'll be a 0, but I think he's going to be one of those guys that has like 4 to 7 point projections for most of the year. And you keep hoping Connor goes out, and maybe he does, but then Connor goes out and it's like, he doesn't get the work. And I think that's like his best case outcome. If DeMercado actually, holds up, he showed something last year. Yoshivas, by the way, getting the most camp hype. Again, Burton really would try to knock him down a little bit in rooms if he can. RB7 would be okay here, but what? Honestly, with the bet we have on Minnesota at this point, we could just, it doesn't do a lot for you to game stack the same side of the equation. Ugh. Aiden O'Connell. Minshew is looking awful in practice, but O'Connell also looked like shit yesterday. We'll take the shot, though. We'll take the shot. Because this would give us a 3rd stack. I guess it wouldn't give us a 3rd game stack because I didn't get New Orleans back. But it gives us another week 16 correlation to against Green Bay. I can live with it. Maybe could have gone Derek Carr instead with Juwan. Fuck, that probably was the move. Oh, I would like to have that back. Can I get a mulligan? Do you think... Would the room allow me a mulligan, do you think? So I could just click Derek Carr, who's probably a much better play. I'm getting lower owned, I guess, taking Aiden O'Connell. But fuck, should have taken Carr. Okay, well, Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford, Aiden O'Connell here at QB. David Montgomery, Gus Edwards, Blake Corum, Ty Chandler, Ray Davis, Jaleel McLaughlin, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, George Pickens, Jayden Reed, Christian Watson, and Zay Jones here, and Brock Bowers and Juwan Johnson. So we do get 3 game stacks technically. We have Vegas and NO, we have Rams in Arizona, and we have Green Bay with Minnesota, along with Green Bay with New Orleans a little bit. Do you think Carr would have been a little bit more logical now that I've done the computation on it? But O'Connell works. O'Connell works. So that's going to be the team, guys. So going to cap it at 1 draft today. Trying to be, exercise some discipline, right? It's what we should do here. So please do subscribe down below. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. Of course, Splash plays slowly on that crawl to 4K subs now, and appreciate your support here. Of course, you saw me play an Underdog. Use promo code SPLASH on there. For some reason, you're not on Underdog. $250 in bonus cash. The best deal you're going to find in the world of best ball. So check that out. If you are an Underdog, really do check out Drafters. They've been a lot of fun to play on and also a great partner for me here on stream. More Drafters drafts coming up on Saturdays. If you guys are all hanging on, I could do one more draft, right? I could do one more. Oh, fuck it. All right. Go deposit on drafters and I'll do one more draft. If 100 people deposit on drafters right now, I'll do one more draft. Fine. You know what? I haven't done a friends and family one in a while. Here, one more fucking BBM for you guys today. Why not? I think Davis Maddock is coming up a little bit later on. We got some time. Do one more. All right. I'm in a draft room. 3 spots left. Sure, all the people who want to get in on stream, this is your moment in time. Please tell me no draft stalker, though. Nah! Why? Why would I ever open up a room to everybody? Fuck, man. Killing the vibes. 5-hole dickhead. Too long. I had too many in a row without this fucker getting in a room. He watches every fucking stream. It's unbelievable. Jeremy, don't watch the streams. I don't like you. No me gusta. Though I appreciate you not being in all the rooms lately because I don't know if that's my choice. But fuck, it's probably not. It's probably not. Oh, God. Unbelievable. Fucking 2-hole. What is what I get? I open myself up and what happens? What fucking happens? Addiction. He never misses his fucking chance. Unreal. Anyway, the clock's ticking here. I didn't mean to click that, but yeah, I agree. I meant to click Felix's, but this is also true. You know, me gusta. The real ones, no. Not my fave, but we'll live with it. Share a CeeDee Lamb, though. Happy to do that. Somehow I've pulled ahead on CeeDee Lamb over Tyreek. I guess because I did. Actually, I don't know how that happened, but we'll go CeeDee Lamb here. I think I'll be able to get enough Tyreek at other points of drafts. CeeDee Lamb, 102. Would have been happy to get Christian McCaffrey as well if he had come back. Oh, God damn it. Imagine getting 2-hole and complaining about it. To be clear, it's not why I'm complaining, Jason. I'm complaining about the fact that the guy who was in 33% of my drafts last year has now gotten into this draft because I said, hey, you can come in the draft this one time. So that's why. It's not about the 2-hole. But thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. Didn't realize you went live. Greetings from the 8. Hit the notification bell. You're going to get some more surprise drafts coming for me now that drafters have me do another bonus 2-hour one a week. So probably going to try to do it around happy hour time if I can. Not to interfere with our boy Tyler's best ball happy hour trademarks, but we'll see. Coming up soon, though. Hit the notification bell because I always go, I'm going live at 11, but I'm usually going a little bit earlier. You'll know when. If you hit that notification bell. This chat from Chunk. I had a buddy named Jeremy Dialect. Well, it's the wrong one. They took the wrong one. That's how I feel. But sorry for your loss, Chunk. That's a fucking downer. Personally, I'm a big fan of the 2-hole. Oh, baby, do I love the 2-hole. Yeah, I have no issue with the 2-hole. Both the metaphorical one that Tyler is speaking about and me drafting in the 102. I want my CeeDee Lamb. We shouldn't keep making jokes, but rip good Jeremy. Yes, indeed. Rest in peace. Good Jeremy. Rest in power, even. And one less Jeremy in my rights. We just got to keep taking them out one by one, and we're good to go. This is getting thoughtful now. His name was Good Jeremy. His name was Good Jeremy. His name was Good Jeremy. I really hope we're staying on the right side of not making fun of this other guy. This other guy's passing. All good, huge druggie. Thing was on an overdose. Oh, geez. Still probably a better Jeremy, though. Okay, well, there we go. You're living that life, Chunk. You're in the world where they're actually, no, hopefully you're not living that life. You're in the world where people are living that life. That's tough to see. No Puka Nakua and Marvin Harrison for this guy in the 11-hole. Suck it, nerd. Welcome to the club that'll never have that combo. Though honestly, I bet DC Fantasy probably has it 50 times over. He's like, I've got so much Puka and Marvin Harrison. I'm so full, I couldn't possibly have more Puka Nakua and Marvin Harrison. Meanwhile, fucking still 0 for me. I got to update the banner too. This is draft BBM number 84 for me. Oh boy, we're getting there. BBM number 84. Stream best ball draft number 148. We're in the hunt for 200. By the end of the draft cycle is the goal. Setting a world record for stream drafts in 1 year. Oh, it should have been Jeremy. I hope Jeremy Hill's happy. I hope Jeremy Hill's thriving. You did give me Puka MHA on drafters. Dylan did allow me to have that at the turn. Didn't make up for me not having any in 83 PPM drafts, but I did appreciate the sentiment if nothing else. It's like giving somebody like, oh, you lost the Olympics, here's a medal, and it's like, oh, great, I got a medal. It's like one of those chocolate ones. That's basically what getting Puka and MHJ on drafters feels like. But I do appreciate the sentiment nonetheless. All right, Jefferson Nico start pretty fun. Obviously nothing crazy there, but you just don't see Jefferson at 7 too often. I honestly feel like I have not seen a lot of Jefferson Nico. I'm sure I must have it, given how much Jefferson and how much Nico I have. That's a really fun combo. Oh, Dylan's also got 0 Puka and MHJ through 82. All right, I don't feel as lonely then. Thank you, Dylan. Dylan, you've been a great addition to the community. At least on the topic of Puka and MHJ. Devontae Adams again. I mean, this is a little bit of a fall for Devontae Adams. Again, we don't look the gift horse in the mouth or the mouse. Sure. I feel like, again, these aren't really unique, but I feel like Jefferson and Nico a little bit unique. Lamb and Adams, I think a little bit unique. All right, we get Devontae back too, which I really wanted. Devontae I like enough that I could have taken him over Adams there. Could also make the case to do the week 16 Mike Evans, but Devontae Smith getting pretty big camp steam, the slot role in this Kellen Moore offense being imported. He's getting used a lot, and I think that he should be ahead of Jalen Waddle, and he's not, and I felt that way for a while. So we're going to go CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith. So we do have our week 17 correlation for Dallas and Philadelphia. Hopefully we'll get the stack along with it, but there's no guarantees on that with how Dallas can go. Already on the Puka MHJ duo, DK only for you, though. I couldn't even get it on DK. So I haven't done a ton of DK drafts. I think I'm under 10 still. But in those, I've also not gotten it there. Roman Wilson left practice on a cart, but looks like passenger seat, not the back. Oh, well, tough for Roman Wilson. He's finally looking good in camp. Tough to see. Like this price tag for Mike Evans. I think this is where he should go. Not sure who that means should come up, but I do think that's where a better price tag for Mike Evans. I would take Mike Evans a lot more if he were at pick 30. Right around these guys, I think he is a little bit overpriced, which is very like chintzy, like to kind of like it's really nickel and diming it to make it that much of a thing. We're like, oh, I don't want Mike Evans at 26. I want him at 30. But those little price tag things to me, I feel like tend to have been helpful so far in this year and in general in the past. And then when the guy falls a little bit, you then get that guy at that exposure. So like if Evans is going to be at 30 more often, I will take him more. DK drafts are really soft. They are indeed. Again, it's a lot of people who have their sports betting bankroll, their DFS bankroll, their whatever they have on there. So you're playing on DraftKings, you're probably going to have some soft rooms. You're also going to have a lot of completely uncorrelated QB sniping. That's the other trade-off, but that's the trade-off. That's why we like less sharp rooms. One more plug for bestballoverlay.com. You can see all the data that I use on screen here. You can see my exposures, the week 16, week 17 matchups. And if you hover, you can also see the sportsbook totals right now for DK Sportsbook. So for week 16 and week 17 here, the Colts are expected to have a 45.5 over-under and a 43.5 over-under. I guess that's the game total for the Tennessee game, the Giants game. Just a little things you can see here. And I do have to give credit to those guys over at Best Ball Overlay. Keep building in new features, try to make the product better. So, which is what I want to see as somebody that has my own products and know how that goes. So check it out, bestballoverlay.com, promo code SPLASH to get $10 off. Get your first month for $20 at bestballoverlay.com. While you're signing up for things, probably it's great sports betting data. Actually was like an amazing day for probably data yesterday where I put out all long shots because we just didn't have enough plus EV bets around the coin toss probability range. And yesterday we hit 4 bets that were all long shots, including a plus 750 home run, plus 600 home run, plus 250 home run, and also a plus 400 over on, I think it was Red Sox Mariners yesterday. So a lot of good stuff going on. Probably no more free trials on there, but you guys being Splashly regulars, you can still get 50% off of probably.com using the promo code SPLASH. So check that out. Anyway, if you want to play DFS, go to Stochastic. More on Stochastic to come once we get to the actual NFL season, but some of you guys still use that promo code. I think it's the only one they have going right now for 15% off. And there we go. Now we've hoard. Now we may rest. Malachi Corley having a day. Talked about him in the news items. He's back. He's working with the first team because of Gibson. So good for him. He needs to show off when he's playing out there with Aaron Rodgers. Has to earn that trust. We know that Aaron Rodgers is a guy that deeply wants to trust his guys, and he has enough dudes that he is forced into jobs there. Though thankfully, Randall Cobb is gone. He's got enough guys he's forcing the jobs there that, you know, he's still going to love his guys. The A.J. Brown drafter takes Jalen Hurts, which sucks. Would have been nice to get him back, but hopefully we'll be able to get the Dallas side of the equation for week 17. And with these next few picks, I don't know. Be nice if some value were created here. And hopefully value that's not T. Higgins. Come on, Ramdom. Pacheco. Was hoping Pacheco was going to fall, really. Just felt like a room that wasn't going to want Pacheco. But this guy, he needed his third RB in 4 rounds, which is not the move. But he's not badged, and he probably has not ever looked at data. So that's how it's going to go. We are on the clock. The room forcing me to be a wide receiver boy again. This guy's definitely taken one receiver. We passed on Kirk last time. I still have to be mindful of what I'm doing with McLaurin right now. So we're going to take Kirk first. I think that a Washington bet would be okay here because we do have Philadelphia in week 16. But I didn't want to reach for McLaurin over Kirk here. Kirk shouldn't be falling. I don't know why he is. Half-point PPR is not the best for Christian Kirk, but he's fine. Oh, this guy went up. Whoa, Rashee Rice. Okay, well, never mind. We're back at Terry McLaurin business. Terry McLaurin, come on down. Washington, again, quietly killing it in camp right now. And we get a little bit of correlation there. We have some outs at QB. Can go Dak. Can go Jayden. Happy to do it. 0-0-5-0 start. I don't know if we're going to do extreme 0 RB again, but we're definitely doing some form of 0 RB. CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, double Devontaes, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin. I am content with this start. This is a fun one. That did work out nice for me. The guy with no badge reaching 20 picks for correlation really helped out a lot. What a wide receiver squad. This is a very nice room. I'm very happy with these wide receivers. Good couple drafts. Even having my arch enemy in a draft. I wouldn't even say arch enemy. He's not like the Joker to me. He would be like who's somebody that Batman easily like thwarts, but Batman like sees too much of? That's where I think we are with the man in the 5-hole. What do I think of the reach for Rice over Hollywood? Bad. I think, look, you want to get Rice. I get it. Where's Rice's ADP right now? It's still in the 60s, I presume. Yeah, so Rice, okay, Rice fallen out of the 60s now, down to 59.7. First of all, I haven't been that big on Rashee Rice this entire time. We have a guy who dominated SMU, dominated last year with no targets, no other targets there to take share away from him. That's part of my issue with Rashee Rice. The second part of it now is that he was going at 85 for so long. If you're reaching to get a quote-unquote unique combo with him, it's probably not unique. Somebody else probably got it for much cheaper and got it with 2 more rounds of picks in between. So I will be happy to match the field on Rashee Rice, I think, if I'm taking him at ADP. Taking him 10 spots ahead of ADP, even if you're not going to get him back at 72, like it's just not the move with how many entries have been put in BBM so far with him being much cheaper. So I don't think it's a good pick to take Rashee Rice there. I get wanting to do it. Again, if he's a badgeless drafter putting in 5 entries and he wants to make them all be teams that he really fucking loves, then fine. Go get Rashee Rice at 49. But like going against half the field, having Rashee Rice in the 80s, 60s, 70s at discounts with discounted Mahomes is not the way to do it, I don't think. Good reports about Brandon Coleman, which is nice for the... Or what? Brandon Coleman? What? Talk about offensive tackles? I mean, look, it's important, but come on. I had to look up who Brandon Coleman was. I'm like, what? I know fucking the other guy, Jack Sane or whatever, is a guy people like. I'm like, am I missing a receiver on the depth chart? One thing that wasn't in my news items, by the way, which is important. There's this guy Tipton on the Saints, who's a UDFA, Mason Tipton. Mason Tipton apparently outplaying A.T. Perry right now in Saints camp. Also, a guy that I pointed out like about a month and a half ago, Cedric Wilson having a really good camp for the Saints, also playing ahead of A.T. Perry. I like A.T. Perry's talent. I think he showed a good amount in terms of EPA stuff last year. He was good at Wake Forest as well. A.T. Perry is like not where he needs to be with that team right now. So again, Mason Tipton, I don't think is a dude yet. He's like Dante Miller on the Giants. Turbo Miller is who they're calling him. Like these guys are not there yet, but there's a little bit of a drumbeat coming for him. And fucking Turbo Miller for the Giants, they featured as the headline on The Athletic. They're like, a rookie RBs might change the RB room. I was like, oh no, it's going to be Tyrone Tracy's team. And no, it's Dante Miller or Turbo Miller. I think it's Dante, but Turbo Miller. It's like him looking great for the Giants. So two names that you probably haven't heard once that I know I haven't said on stream before, but Mason Tipton and Turbo Miller are two that I would watch a little bit. Don't take them or anything. I don't know if they're even available. Let's see. Yeah, Mason Tipton is available. Okay. And then... Wait, is it not Miller? No, you must not be in the player list. Yeah, okay, so the Giants guy is not in the player list. Okay. All right, so we have a 0050 here. Sorted by my ranks. Quick look at ADP. I got to get Kamara shares. And again, we do have the New Orleans, Las Vegas bets. So this actually works out really well. We will end our 0 RB run. We will bring in Alvin Kamara, trying to take him strategically at ADP when it makes sense, because I don't love the guy, but he has locked down this role for himself sheerly by the failures of Kendre Miller. So Kamara, our first RB here, 5 receivers, CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Christian Kirk, and Terry McLaurin. And this is tough because there's a lot of rooms where Jake Ferguson goes at 94. So I don't love taking him at 74, but I do want to be in the Dak business. So I'm going to go up and get Jake Ferguson, I think, here. I'm okay on my Ingram exposure. And I want to build up Philadelphia, Dallas more. So we're going to go Ferguson. Could make the case to take Ingram there, given my bet on Kirk. But I'm a little bit locked in on the idea of trying to get Philadelphia, Dallas right here. I've been low on that. Oh, it is Dante Miller. Okay, good. He's on DK. There you go. Take him on DK. 25 years old. I mean, Ray Davis is old as shit too, and we're taking him. But being 25, never a good thing. But he might be a guy that displaces Tyrone Tracy, which would bring me a lot of joy. If it's not going to be Eric Gray, I'll take anybody. This is actually interesting. 8.03 RAS for Tipton, elite speed grade, great explosion grade, small boy. All right, there you go. So maybe not a guy to expect getting a lot of work. Feels like the nesting doll version of Rashid Shaheed, maybe Tipton is. We have the smaller version of Shaheed in there. But I think Tipton's a guy to keep an eye on. And Miller to a lesser extent. But the Tipton buzz feels really big. They had him at the podium, which never happens for UDFAs. So kind of a big deal for Mason Tipton. 5'7", 179, yikes. Dylan, you put it in the universe, and I hope it's not true. He doesn't do stupid stuff. What his issue has always been that he will build parallel stacks to me, and there was a point he'd building parallel stacks to me in every fucking draft and picking off guys off of my teams over and over and over again. So that was really the biggest issue, along with just the obsession and addiction. But I haven't had him in a draft for 2 weeks, so let's fucking let him get one in here and hope that that's it, kid. Hope that's it for you. Or else I'm going to send you to the other Jeremy. Fucking meet up with the Jeremys on the other side. Anyway, if you enjoy streams, guys, where we go from great football info to occasionally threatening people, please subscribe down below, hit the like button. Actually, funny thing, the Bet Pros guy, the Boston versus the Book dude, Matt Peralt, I think is his name. His video, so he's been losing a lot, and I watched all the betting videos because of Probably. So this morning he was like, I guess people have been mean to him in the comments because he's been losing for like a month. And they were like, he's like, if I saw you in person, I'd find you and I'd tune you up. And it's like, I hate that. Like, there's only really one person I want to like hit who's ever been involved in the stream. And that's the guy in the 5-hole. Because it's just like, it makes me uncomfortable invading my space that much. That said, I can't imagine just being like, just to general internet trolls, like, hey, in person, you'd never talk to me like that. Like, they wouldn't. That's true. Most people in person, I know this from my Barstool days, they'll meet you and they'll be so excited for you. And they'll go like, oh, I was really mean to you in the comments, but you're a really cool guy. That's how that would go. But like the fact that he's like losing so much and he's like threatening to fight people just really made me laugh. But also put into perspective here that I don't ever want to lose that much that I want to fight people. This should be fun. It should absolutely be fun. Side note, Gamblestein chatting me on Drafters the other day. Lighthearted barbing. We have come full circle jerk. There we go. I hope it was lighthearted because Gamblestein can sometimes not be lighthearted. What's the word on T. Higgins? Has been consistently falling. He's the best receiver at camp right now because Jamar Chase is holding in. The days that he's not the best receiver in camp, it's been Yoshvis looking the best. For Higgins, I've never been huge on him because of the fact that he didn't get his new contract. And last year, he kind of sulked his way through the year, not getting a new contract. We're now in the exact same boat again this year. And the Bengals, to me, 2 holdouts at receiver. Obviously, Higgins is back now, but Chase holding in, it's not great. I don't know. People will look the other way because they love the Bengals, but it's, to me, there's a really a Jenga-like situation right now for the Bengals with them not paying people. That's how I feel about it. But he's just coming down because people are probably bored of taking him there. He's been mispriced this entire time. Like with the risk that he had, with how he played last year, he should be in the 50s, but he's just kind of going not too far from where he was last year out of inertia. Ferguson, a beast, and to get his exposure up. That's part of the issue for me is like, so I'm normally, a lot of times in these drafts so far, I've been picking in the 11 hole, picking the 2 hole. When I pick in the 2 hole, I'm not getting Ferguson back. When I'm in the 11 hole, it doesn't usually make sense to go Dallas's way and Ferguson. I think he's okay. Like, I think he benefited from there not being a lot of guys getting targets last year. But like, I want to be with the field on him. He just hasn't been a priority guy for me. Because price hasn't leveled out. Like I took him at 74 and legit on stream twice in the last week. There's been people taking him at 94. So I don't love that for him, but we had to get him here with Lamb, I think. Nobody that plays best ball is hard in real life. Look, I'm pretty hard. You know, I'm pretty tough. It's all relative. I'm sure we have a few psychos that like would fucking be good. But look, I don't want to be the dude tough guy thing. I've trained MMA. Like I stopped training because I kept injuring myself. Like I broke a bone in my hand, then tore a tendon in my Achilles. Didn't tear my Achilles, but tore the tendon on the bottom of my foot on my arch. And that was fucking awful as in a walking boot. And after that, I was like, I can't keep doing this. Like there are people who I think can handle themselves well. But the point of like being able to handle yourself well is not that you go threaten to beat people up. I think is it. Like that's the one thing with martial arts. And again, not to say that I was trained by Mr. Miyagi or anything, but like I worked with guys who became UFC fighters. And it's like, you know, those guys, they are so great at what they do and they do it so they don't have to fight people like outside of their stuff. Like they want to have that control. So I don't know. That's how I feel about it. Dak Prescott here, he makes the most sense for us. Obviously, we're not necessarily out of the Jayden Daniels business yet, but we'll go Dak for the first part of this. Got Dak where he's supposed to go, pick 95. Dak double with the bring back of Devontae Smith for week 17 feels good. We'll see what this fine fellow at the turn does. What are we doing? We're there. All the guys. The word hard. Street tough is what we should have said instead of hard, I suppose. But look, if there were ever somebody that wanted to do one of those DFS boxing tournament things against me, I would do it in a heartbeat. That'd be so fun. I almost did a rough and rowdy for Barstool a couple years ago if they would have paid my quote. They ain't come through with the big bucks that Spags deserves to potentially embarrass himself. More likely not. 1151 here. Some fine RBs on the board, but they don't correlate. You know, it does correlate. No, it's a Jayden team. Oh, it's a Dak Prescott Jayden team, which I can tell you I don't have any of. So Dak and Jayden here, we're getting the Philadelphia week 16 and week 17 matchups, which feel pretty good. So Dak and Jayden at QB, Alvin Kamara at RB. We made the premium deviation again, so I'm going to be in the same spot I was last time with RBs, but it's okay, I think. CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, the wide receivers, tight end Jake Ferguson. So Dallas double cooked. Bring back for Devontae Smith. Good to go. We got a Jayden Daniels single with the bring back of Devontae Smith for week 16. Happy with it. Liking this team. Favorite 2 QBs at price this year. I love it. I set up for a DFS boxing tournament. I pay for my own expenses. Travel? Okay. You sounds like you want to get in a fight with somebody. Just go to a bar at closing time. See how that goes. MVS playing with second unit on Bills with second unit dude. Shavers taking first team reps. Oh, interesting. Yeah, MVS was, they said in the article that I quoted in the beginning of the news segment here, he was working with the second and third team like exclusively so far. So not great signs for MVS. I guess better that he's up to the second team, but definitely not good that somebody new is working ahead. Surprised it's not Justin Shorter getting first team reps. I think they've liked Shorter for enough time now. Both QBs should be going in the 80s if we're honest. I don't think you're wrong. I mean, Dak and Jayden, I've talked enough about Jayden's price tag being there. I think Dak feels right to me in that Jordan Love, Joe Burrow tier for, how little those guys run relatively. Love runs a little bit, but overall, you're not getting a lot of rushing from those guys. But I'm happy with this build. I legit think this might be the first Dak and Jayden combo I have. I'm actually going to see if I can check the best ball overlay tool in a different tab here. Try to confirm that. That's one thing I do wish that you could do easily with the best ball overlay tool, really any tool, is be able to check like how often I have the combos while I'm on the board would be pretty nice. But let's see. Jayden Daniels and Dak Prescott. Nope, no shares of Jayden and Dak together. I think I do have Jayden and Hurts. Yeah, I've got 3 teams of Jayden and Hurts. And so how many teams of Jayden and Daniel Jones? And 5 teams of Jayden and Daniel Jones. So we're evening out the NFC East exposures. We got it. Feeling good. Oh, fantasy life. But I mean, like having one like on the screen is what would be the nicest. Like if I could somehow just like, maybe you put it right here where you just enter in like, oh, hey, Jayden, Dak, and then see right away how many combos I have. I think it'd be nice. I should keep that to myself in case I make a best ball tool at some point. Fucking probably make more money than probably does, for being honest right now. One day, though. Any J NAR, yeah, I actually have a good amount of that before the schedule came out. And actually, I think even after the schedule came out, I have to have at least a few of these. I have 1, 2, 3 with Jayden and AR. How many with Stroud? 2 with Jayden and Stroud. How about Lamar? Actually, I'll show the screen to you real fast so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So Jayden and Lamar. 1 with Jayden and Lamar. With pretty good CLV on it. Hey, we'll take that. That's a team I'd still draft now. Okay. Jayden and who else is the week 14 bye, guys? I think we got all the big ones, right? I guess like Drake May. No Jayden and Drake May. That's what's going to sink me this year. No Jayden and Drake May. Hey, we're back over here, guys. Of course, hope you enjoy the stream here. Hope you enjoy seeing my process as we go. If you enjoy this, I do new drafts every Monday to Saturday at 11 a.m. And some more to come up thanks to our pals at Drafters. So please subscribe down below. Hit the like button. Leave a comment if you're watching the fact. If you really want to support the show, hit the join button down below for $4.99. You get added to our VIP Discord. You can also get 10 team reviews a month from me where I give you real feedback based on what I see from your teams, your tendencies, all of that stuff, along with structure. Not really about player takes as much as just how to make you be a better drafter for how you draft. And also, you can get my rankings, which get updated weekly. And now we're up to, I think, like 285 player blurbs. So a lot of blurbs on there and exportable rankings for Underdog as well. All that's available to you. Hit that join button down below for $4.99. Yeehaw. Seam is fun. I agree. Stroud Lamar combos. Probably don't have that if I had to guess. I wouldn't do the double week 14 buys and also the same guys competing in the same week 17 game. You want to game stack different QBs ideally. But I'll take a look. Let's see, Lamar. Oh, one more pair. All right, we're up on the clock. Yeah, no Lamar and Stroud for me. So that's not a thing for me. Need to get more RBs in here. We are in basically the exact same spot I was last draft. I like Gus enough. I'm going to pass up Gus here. Goddard would also be okay, but I really don't think we need the second tight end right now. Going to go Zeke. Increase the Dallas bet a little bit more. The RB stars of 2018 with Kamara and Ezekiel Elliott. All right, Gus Edwards comes back. Goddard comes back. I feel like the Jalen Hurts drafter could just have Goddard, and that's fine by me. Getting a little heavy on Gus. I have to, I'm a little worried about that. I don't know that I want to be like heavy on Gus to that extent, but he feels right in this range. I just don't like Corum more. I don't like Benson more. Correlation's not putting me over the top for either of it. So we'll go Gus Edwards here once again as RB3. Leads to a different build. So we have a QB. We took our 2 QBs last time out. Dak Prescott, Jayden Daniels, RB, Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott, Gus Edwards. I will tell you, this is not like a fun team. It's not the kind of team where I'm like, man, like these guys are so exciting, but just a bunch of dudes that should score touchdowns on teams that hopefully are winning enough teams or have enough usage. CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin. So we hit receiver hard and early on, and then we go away from it for a little bit. And Jake Ferguson is my tight end. So it's a cool team so far. I'm very happy with it. All right, we'll see what we get on the way around. Jared Goff at 125. Certainly a choice here. This guy builds the same teams always, but I'm not going to talk about it because we don't want to reward it. Get some rookie RBs later. That's usually the move, yeah. We got guys we expect to have early season production, and we can have guys who hopefully can spike later on in the back half of the team. Love a Dak Jayden team. I would love it too. Honestly, I am surprised this is my first one. I think it's because you have to grab them both basically in a row, which is not usually what I want to do, but I don't want to have that be a reason to not have two teams I like a lot, who I think should pass a lot. So that's one of those things we talk about here. We're having the exposure tools. Also, again, the best ball overlay stuff on the data side that I just showed you guys on screen. Having that together, I think really does help out a lot when you are trying to be mindful of balancing exposures more, not letting your biases creep in. Other tools out there are great as well. Legendary Upsides, your card tool for your similarity amongst things could probably highlight that as well for you. Did the A.J. Brown drafter not take Goddard? No. Yeah, the A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts guy has no tight end, and he took Mike Williams over Dallas Goedert, which I would say is an odd choice. If you have that duo and you're getting Dallas Goedert for free, just complete your stack. Take the whatever. Badgeless drafter, it's going to happen. Honestly, despite having the draft stalker in here, pretty good mix of people. So feels like a real room. That's all I can ask. Was last day, this is a double draft day. Yes, we've done 2 drafts today. Hadn't had enough people watching live, I guess, because there was no competition today. So appreciate you guys watching. When a lot of people are watching, I'll do a double draft. If not, I'll go fuck myself. Those are your 2 options. Oh, your guys' favorites. All right. I would be happy to prioritize some more Jayden and Dak. I do want to get Dak with CeeDee Lamb, though. I think that's a big part of the equation to me. And honestly, frankly, if I'm taking Dak, I probably want Dak with CD and Ferguson, really. I think that's where the bet pops off really well for you. But who knows? Thank you, Fly Reese Fly. I appreciate that. I give you guys options. I'll always give you options. Okay, guys, we get it. You all want me to go fuck myself. I get it. Did you sneak it to the $5 single entry Corgi tournament? No. I honestly am not paying attention to anything. Like I talked about it last week, but like doing the 1 or 2 drafts a day for me on stream has been really helpful with me just like enjoying every stream and like really appreciating them more when I start chasing every tournament and whatever, which is going to have to happen for me a little bit more in August. So I'll strap in for that at the end of the month. Like, I just enjoy my pace. Like, I'm having a nice leisurely pace here. I can keep up with the news. Like, some people were in the document here where I keep my preseason updates yesterday. Of course, that's also part of the VIP package you get by joining down below. I give my news updates at the beginning of videos, and I also keep a document going so you can check them all throughout the entire course of the offseason here, or, training camp. But yeah, basically I was writing it up last night, and it's like, I spent an hour just reading stuff, writing stuff. And if I were like trying to do drafts, it would just take away from that hour of me doing things that I think add value to my prep process, to how I understand the teams, to how I understand my priors and adjust them or don't adjust them accordingly. So I like not doing extra tournaments right now. Like, I've been having a lot of fun with it. Might not be for everybody. And it's also too, because I'm putting so much of my bankroll towards keeping probably afloat. But like, it's been a really better balance for me than last year, where I felt like really fatigued, like mentally. Like, I feel like it was a pretty big pull doing so many drafts and then also streaming all the drafts and all that. So that's, look, I like to talk about the process honestly here. I think, we like to have fun as well. But yeah, that's how I view it. Are you pounding the extra tournaments for me? But I do want you to do one of the CFB ones. I don't know college football that well. Like, I know I know in college football right now is players I've seen in my dynasty with Georgia Southern. That's the only thing I know about college football. So I'd probably be useless in that format as well. My college football prep goes on towards the end of the season, where I can have all the data and just look at it. And then, obviously USC, of course, will always grab my attention along the way. All right, we're on the clock here. Jahan Dotson goes to pick before mine, which, doesn't really matter that much. Brutal RB pocket, though, to make up there. That is tough. Losing Lloyd and Dowdle again. 5-hole just brings bad juju with him no matter where he goes. But you know what? We can get an opposite correlation with Darnell Mooney, which I do want to get more Jayden with Mooney. I am low on that combo, which I don't want. So Mooney as a bring back for week 17, our first Atlanta bring back. In fact, we'll do him there. We'll do him good. 2 picks go here. McLaughlin we took last draft. Ray Davis, probably the best pick in terms of value. Algier, the correlation play. Got to get an RB no matter what, though. I think Ray Davis, unfortunately, feels better than Algier. My Ray Davis bags are getting heavy. They're getting hard to carry, these Ray Davis bags. But we got to keep doing it. He's just not priced right now. He and Bucky Irving are not priced correctly. They should be where I'm picking right now. Algier goes. We're not going to get him back, which is fine. We made our choice. So the team so far is a 2-4-6-1. We have Dak Prescott, Jayden Daniels, Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott, Gus Edwards, Ray Davis here. CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, and we added a Darnell Mooney for the Week 17 correlation with Washington. And we have Jake Ferguson here, part of our Dallas-Philadelphia bet. Stoked with the team. Getting one of these RBs back that's a little bit better than Ray Davis, and getting Ray Davis at 167 would have been more ideal, but I don't think Ray Davis would come back all the way. He's got enough steam anyway, so we can live with it. So to be kind to a draft who already had Nico, so I left Stroud and Dell, and he didn't take either, so I also wasn't able to take both. Well, that's why you don't try to be kind, I guess. Especially with the Tank Dell part. Like, if he's got Nico, just take Tank. But I appreciate you going on the side of courtesy, I suppose. There's not a lot of people that do that, I say, as somebody that has streamed an unfortunate portion of his drafts. Honestly, at this point, it's been like 95% of my drafts have been on stream this year. Fuck the Kirk Cousins drafter? Oh, no. What did he do? Oh, unstacked Kirk Cousins. You hate to see that. You do hate to see that. But he's so random. How could he help himself? He's the Penguin of Doom. Pure randomness all the time. What do we have to do now? Got to add one more RB on at least. Maybe 2. Need the second tight end. Obviously, this is live to be a Senate team. I'm really conflicted as to whether I need to start dialing back Senate more so, but I have the Washington stack. I don't know that it makes sense to move away from Senate on those. We'll also theoretically have Luke McCaffrey available very late. That's how I'm viewing the board right now. Another Dallas receiver could work as well. So we got some options. Really slow picks on the turn here. Really fucking sucking the momentum out of the room. Ricky Pearsall discount still afoot. Some social media FUD for Ricky Pearsall out there about him not being able to get separation. He's playing in camp against the Niners secondary. Like, give him a little bit of time to maybe get there. But I did see that popping up on my For You page this morning. But Pearsall is out there. Getting him out there in pads is half the battle at this point with him starting on the NFI list. So Pearsall 157. Could move down a little bit more, but I think him being available at camp probably pushes him back into the low 150s, maybe 140s. And shout out to all you guys watching live or after the fact. We'll give one quick pander here. Please subscribe down below with the like button. Leave a comment. All those engagements help out a bunch here. For me as a solo proprietor, trying to make it work, trying to put all my work here, my gambling on stream every day, which, is a lot. I've gambled more hours on stream than most. It's like me and those casino guys. We're the only ones here that are gambling this much on stream. Maybe I could be a casino guy. Who knows? We'll talk about the MMG rooms on Underdog here. Should be a little less sharp. Do the Madden streamers audience. There you go. You think Underdog also has a partnership they started with some Call of Duty guy? They're doing some weird, there might be some weird soft tournaments out there for you folks out there that really want to go EV chasing, which I respect. And it does fit with the theme with what we talked about earlier. You're not going to get as many, deposit promos. You get your first one Underdog, but you're not getting the, oh, you enter 5 tournaments, get 1 ticket thing. You're not getting an Underdog. So the way you probably get your grinder EV is doing the MMG tournament, doing whatever Call of Duty guy tournament comes up. But again, get your EV though on Drafters, on DraftKings if you can. Do that. All right, pick coming up here. Get a couple chats after that. Got our 2 QBs, so we need to worry about that right now. Gibson could be opposite correlation with Buffalo. Michael Wilson doesn't really do much for us here. Not the greatest pocket. Antonio Gibson here. Come on down. Got Capwise here. My buddy's been covering Broncos training camp every day. Said he wouldn't be surprised if Tim Patrick's wide receiver 3. Isn't he not? The Athletic article said he's not even working out in practice yet. I wouldn't necessarily do that too much. Ben Albright said the starters were going to be Mims, Sutton, and Reynolds. So I don't think the seam's going that way. But if your pal knows something, he's telling you it, I guess. They like Tim Patrick, but the recovery for him is not looking great so far, I don't think. We're on the clock here. Another RB could work. Bucky. Oh, Bucky fucking went? God damn it. Do we take the elevated Audric Estime share? Let's do it. Like, look at, I got it. Yes. Estime at 170. This feels like cutting like the ribbon at a mall. I have not taken Estime in the 15th round once. And it feels good. It feels good. I would rather had Bucky, I think, but Estime, we could live with it. Of course, all my Estime exposure, my 15% has all come for free in the 18th round. So got to get used to that price tag, but we can do it in this kind of build. Team so far, let's give it a read. 2661, Dak Prescott, Jayden Daniels are our QBs right now, and probably going to stay our QBs, but I don't foresee adding a third one on top. Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott, Gus Edwards, Ray Davis, Antonio Gibson, Audric Estime here. So we got the vets early on. Gibson, another vet with some theoretical role. And it will have the young guys here in Davis and Estime, 2 of my favorite later bets besides Bucky Irving. CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, Darnell Mooney as our wide receiver room, the tight end Jake Ferguson. And I know what the finishing round should be, but got to make sure it all comes back to us. Rainmakers on DK just got shut down. Tough to see. I hope they would refund people's fucking NFTs and shit. Who knows? Winks just tweeted about Lad. Rip to me getting more shares. Oh, no. I mean, look, Lad McConkey's getting the steam. Well, we'll see what it means. Who knows? Is Franklin not doing well in camp? He's been up and down. Yeah, looking like a rookie seems like the way to say it. They've been, like Ben Albright had said, they're yelling at him a lot on the sidelines, trying to correct him. He's also made the biggest plays in camp overall. So you're getting a trade-off. You're getting what you want out of Troy Franklin, which is the big play part. The big play part's going to be tempted to get him on the field, especially if Bo Nix ends up being the starter, which again is minus 375 right now in the betting markets for week 1. So I'm perfectly okay with where Troy Franklin is. Would be great if he's a world beater in week 1, but he's probably going to have to earn his way into that lineup more, and he's probably rotating in. And maybe you run into the Mims thing a little bit, though he is bigger than Mims. But Mims last year, of course, Sean Payton, like, oh, we'd love to get him more work. It's on my notebook. It says Marvin Mims underlined, and then just never got him more routes. You could run into that again with Troy Franklin. I don't think it's going to be the case, but you could run into it. I think I'm still at about 15% Bo Nix. Let's see. The best ball overlay tool, we can fix that really fast. Yeah, 15% Bo Nix. Most of it early on. I like to stagger my exposures based upon the times that I feel like I have an advantage, which I felt like I knew more about Denver early on. Took Denver a good amount early on. Estime, Franklin, all those guys paired together. Then we had the time period where it's like, we don't know if Bo Nix is going to be the starter. I dial it back then. But I think Bo Nix, to me, like, he's a good bailout in round 18. I wouldn't go on my way to get him with as much exposure I have, especially. It's enough. Lad getting actual positive reports. He's a bad pick. Sitting getting bad. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's right. It's just the offenses. Like, one is a Chargers offense with Greg Roman. One is a Cliff Kingsbury offense with the fastest pace in the league in Jayden Daniels. That's the difference to me. And there's also a literal 130 pick difference between the two guys. So yeah, go ahead. Steam up Lad if you want. Full point PPR Lad and half point PPR. How could it go wrong? Keep taking them. Are we doing an interview show here? 50% is a good number. Is that usually your third QB? Not usually. Again, I took him a lot early on. Not taking him as much right now. Third QB builds. Yeah, I would say he's mostly a 3 QB guy. But honestly, you know, you can make the case if you have a good enough early QB, you can go with him as QB2. Really, the main thing for me is you want 2 guys who are going to be starting for sure. Like, that's why I'm not team Drake May. I don't think Drake May starts most of the year. Still can, but I don't think that's the most likely outcome. Will Shipley at 184 is a little aggressive. Shipley did fill in for a personal day Saquon Barkley yesterday. Looked perfectly fine. Though Nick Sirianni is wearing a Kenneth Gainwell t-shirt around camp. He loves Kenneth Gainwell. Don't think it matters too much. Would still think Shipley and Gainwell mostly contingent value, but it's possible that one of them can win the role more so. Hard for me to see Gainwell getting fully squeezed out though, personally. Nice thing is, Denver's a 2-horse QB race because if Peyton starts Zach Wilson, yeah, I mean, that's not going to happen. Zach Wilson's looked okay in camp, though. I mean, cap-wise might know more from his buddy, but it sounds like Zach Wilson's making at least a few plays. All right, picks coming up here. I feel like the board, I'm gonna take off the board. I think the board makes it a little bit obvious who the next pick should be. Troy Franklin at 188. He shouldn't be getting that much FUD. Don't agree with that. Okay, Adam, I hope you're... I don't hope you're right, but for your sake, I'll hope you're right. We got to remember all the glory days of Baltimore receivers. All those guys with Greg Roman, remember all their great years, right? It's going to be there once again. Have no fear. Luke McCaffrey was one of the picks I've had in mind this entire time. We were getting him at his new ADP of 191. He's looking fine in camp, playing out of the slot. We will do that. Okay, the lad McConkey, you know what? What are we going to say? 6 catches per game. The lad McConkey 100 catch year for 650 yards. Gonna be so sick. Gonna drive him up the boards. Ben Sinnott here. Want to get less of him in this build. He makes too much sense. It's a 2-6-7-2 build. We got one more pick here. We've completed the Washington stack. We have Philadelphia and Dallas and Philadelphia in week 17. We have Washington, Atlanta as well for week 17. Feeling good about that. There we go. Who could forget the Willie Snead years? Let's give the team a read here before we make our last pick in round 18. We have Dak Prescott, Jayden Daniels as the QBs, Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott, Gus Edwards, Ray Davis, Antonio Gibson, and Audric Estime here, who I am not used to getting that early, but the RB room was not looking good at that point. So we'll take one of our guys. CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, Darnell Mooney, and Luke McCaffrey is the receiver room. So this does look like some of my receiver rooms, and that is something that I think Pat Kerrane said on one of his streams that has stood out to me as I'm trying to level out my exposures a little bit. You want to level out your exposures and builds you still feel good about. So I haven't had Jayden and CD and Dak and Ferguson together. Honestly, have not had Dak, Lamb, and Ferguson together much, if at all. Just hasn't aligned for me in ADP. So you got your way to do that, and we're pairing it with a lot of stuff I like, which is Christian Kirk at his ADP, McLaurin to Washington stack, Devontae Adams, like him enough. I think this team makes sense to me, so I'm happy with the build. You're really going to compare Hollywood Brown to Ladd McConkey? Ladd McConkey couldn't fucking earn a target for shit. You really? We're now, Adam, you're radicalizing me more against Ladd McConkey than I want to be. Like, he couldn't fucking earn a target for shit at Georgia. I like the target earning part. I feel like there's going to be one thing that impedes this draft class. It's that people just like, it's a bunch of guys who are like 22% target per out run guys in this class that are coming in that have freak athletic profiles. Everyone wants them to make a leap. But ultimately, like, earning targets is earning targets. And Ladd did not earn targets. Yeah, 6 catches, 33 yards, and almost a TD. Like, oh man, did you see when he got down the 1 yard line? Oh, that run bad. That run bad's tough. I'm just never going to be somebody that gravitates towards like low A-dot guys and offenses that are the most exciting, or like that aren't the most exciting. Like, I think to me, those are always going to be something where I have a blind spot. You talk to me about like the Amon-Ra St. Brown types. Like, I was in on him in his rookie year. Yeah, obviously that was one too where I don't think it could ever work out for Troy Franklin that way, but he had kind of the Troy Franklin anti-steam for himself. He's not athletic enough, all that. I Obviously, I saw him at USC, so I had a little bit of that bias, but he earned targets. And I think that's where I feel like there's a big difference between guys who earn targets and guys who don't. Rasheed Rice played at SMU, earned targets. Troy Franklin played at Oregon, earned targets. Ladd McConkey played at Georgia. He's just out there. He's out there hanging out. I think you think the Bowers part's a lot bigger than it is as well. Bowers is a good target earner. He wasn't a bigger target earner than like the tight ends who came out last year. Like Michael Mayer had a 35% target per out run rate. Again, I love Brock too, but it's like Brock wasn't the thing holding Ladd McConkey back. Ladd McConkey was the thing holding Ladd McConkey back. Great athlete though. What percentage of Jayden Daniels will make you feel a bit uneasy by the end of the draft season? 40% would be too much. I can make peace with 33%. I think 33% feels okay. 25 would be my ideal, but I don't think it's going to happen at this point. If his price tag's not coming up, if he's going to be in the late 90s, early 100s still, I can't not take him. All right, final push here, guys. Been a long second draft here, which is always how it goes. First draft, clean 40-something minutes. This one, we're going on an hour. But appreciate you guys being here live. Hit the like button, subscribe, and all that. Of course, new streams, new drafts coming every Monday to Saturday at 11 a.m. Of course, we'll show you the work here. We'll talk about my takes. We'll also talk about the training camp news up top every day. So if you missed that earlier in the stream, let's go back to the beginning. There's a lot of news items today. And if you hit the join button down below as well, you can get all my Google Docs as well, including my news update sheet, my Spags rankings as well. And what's the third one? You got another one as well. The third thing is, of course, team reviews is another big part. All right, 2672 here. Do we have any correlation anywhere at all? Third tight end would be okay, but honestly, Juwan Johnson's okay as well here. It worked out for me last year with Taysom Hill. I'm a little too cozy taking Juwan Johnson late as tight end 3, but he feels good here. Like he shouldn't be an 18th round pick when he's already basically back at practice. So that's the move we're going to make there. Final team here. 84th BBM draft in the books, which I think I've labeled right? Yeah, okay. 84th BBM draft in the books. We got Dak Prescott, Jayden Daniels as the QBs, Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott, Gus Edwards, Ray Davis, Antonio Gibson, and Audric Estime as the RBs. So would have liked to have gotten one more solid guy in here. Again, the flip of not getting Marshawn Lloyd at that one spot or Ty Chandler instead of having to reach for Ray Davis, that hurt that a little bit. But CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, Darnell Mooney, and Luke McCaffrey at wide receiver. Tight end, Jake Ferguson, Ben Sinnott, Juwan Johnson. Happy with this team. We got correlation on top of correlation, some micro correlations like the Vegas, New Orleans stuff, some young guys, some guys with the role, mostly touchdown hounds at RB. I think the team works, guys. So that's going to be our final stamp here. Again, play an Underdog. You're probably deposit on there, but if you're not, promo code SPLASH gets you up to $250 in bonus cash, the best bonus cash deal you're going to find in the biz. If you are an Underdog, go to Drafters. Use promo code SPLASH on there. I'll be drafting more teams here down the home stretch. An additional 15 drafts is what I agreed to with Drafters. So 15 more drafts coming up, doubleheaders on Saturdays, and surprise doubleheaders coming up on the channel. So hit the notification bell and go deposit on Drafters if you want to draft with me. Promo code SPLASH gets you $100 in bonus cash on there. Best Ball Overlay, you saw that on screen all day today. BestBallOverlay.com, promo code SPLASH gets you $10 off. And Probably, my baby, go to Probly.com, get 50% off if you want to use promo code SPLASH on there. No free trials, but you will get the best market data for betting in the biz. You go to Probly.com, PureOBLY.com, PureOBLY.com, and Stochastic if you want to play DFS. And hey, all these things we said, gamble responsibly as well. Thank you to all the fine folks who've joined the channel. You too can join down below for $4.99. Get my team reviews, 10 of them a month for you if you want. My rankings get updated weekly, exportable to Underdog as well. And I'll also have blurbs for every player basically that's of relevance updated each week too. And you also get my news document and you get a VIP Discord. So you now get 4 big perks by becoming a member. So why not do it? Why not join? Why not support the show you love so much? Follow me at Chris Spags. Follow the show at Splash Play Pod. You are released to go watch Davis Maddock or whatever other streams are going on right now. I'll be back tomorrow with more, guys. Enjoy your days. And of course, good luck. A shout out to the chat, too. A lot of fun hanging out. Appreciate you guys. Bye-bye.